in the fam. All in the fam. Come on. It's all in the fam. All in the fam. Come on. Now get your hands up. 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 All in the fam.
What is up, everybody? It's Brianna Cherie, host of All in the Fam, the certified, fresh, all-inclusive, unfiltered podcast. We are nearing the very end of season 2. So if you guys need to catch up, get a refresher, make sure you listen and watch all the content. The link is in the bio of All in the Fam. The links to our Spotify, Apple Podcasts, to our YouTube, and to our website. So catch up on all the video segments and previous episodes. We have one more episode and one more video segment left, which will both air in the next 2 weeks. So make sure you go check that stuff out. Now, today is the very last episode of our IG Live series, Fam Fridays. And because of that, this is now a special edition. So today's guest is Patrick Sharp. And Patrick Sharp is a up-and-coming musician, rapper, and I think he's pretty underrated. His latest release, Don't Look Down, which is what we're going to be talking about today, has been on replay ever since he dropped it this summer. You can check my Spotify stats. I love it. I love it. And I really want you guys to listen to it once we finish talking about this. So, how do I know Patrick? Patrick and I went to high school together. He's actually a year older than me. We actually became friends this past year. We actually didn't talk in high school, but we knew of each other and had mutual friends. But more of the story, we are both washed up, we North alumni. So go Falcons, North Side. It's really interesting to see people leave the bubble of the suburbs. And once you leave high school, people really tap into their creative sides, and Patrick is one of those people. So I can't wait to discuss this new project, this release, talk about why he got into music, and his inspiration for this project. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and add Patrick to the live so we can get the show started. What's good?
Yo, what's up? So I didn't get all of that intro because I don't know if it's like my Wi-Fi, but it was a little off. But I did catch that washed up we know the athlete thing. So,
yep.
Yeah.
That's us.
Sounds about right.
Nice. So introduce yourself to the fam. Let them know who you are. What's up? What's good?
Yeah. So my name's Patrick Sharp. I rap. I used to play football. Hell, I lived in Texas before. My favorite color is blue. And mostly just be rapping. Yeah. Okay. And I'm in the city. So shout out Chicago.
Good shit. Yeah, so I want to transition to that. So obviously we're both from the suburbs, the bubble of Wheaton. And as I said in the intro, there's a lot of people from Wheaton who are tapping into their creative sides, getting into their passions and, building a lifestyle out of their hobbies. Now, you live in Wheaton, going to Chicago. Chicago has a very immersive and very populated yet underground hip hop culture. So what inspired you to get into music?
I mean, if we're going all the way back, it's like definitely like Kanye. Kanye, like Late Registration, that shit got me into music. Like, I used to just run it back. It was like one of those things to where, like, if something's going on, like, music was my escape before I started making it. So that's kind of like, that's something that made me want to get into it, want to, like, create that for somebody else. To create it for myself, of course, but, like, to create that for something else. But also, as weird as it sounds, I don't know, you've probably seen it, but Wiz Khalifa, he had this like ATL freestyle where he's like smoking in the video and he's just like rapping off his phone. Like, for whatever reason, that shit stuck with me. I was like, yo,
really?
That shit's tight. Like, like yeah, it just made me want to rap. So those are kind of like a couple things that got me into it. But uh, yo, I was in band like in like fifth and sixth grade. Just because I was like I always had rhythm and I was just like thought just drums and shit was cool. So that kind of got me into it too. But like rapping wise, like Kanye and like Wiz, and then of course Cole.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. I can respect that. I can definitely respect that. So let's get into Don't Look Down. So what made you get into this project? And is this your first project? Second?
This is my second
Second?
official
Okay.
project. Yeah. So my first was Everything Happens for a Reason, and that came out right at the end of February.
Okay.
So then I kind of already knew that like Don't Look Down was like happening, you know, like so some of those songs that I was making at that time were gonna like be on Don't Look Down. I just like it was just in my head, like kind of just putting it together. And what made me got into it, like I thought about the concept. So like Don't Look Down, like for number one, I named it that because like where you look is where you're going. So it's like it's basically the same concept as like baseball, right? Like I'm trash at baseball, but like in T-ball or whatever, when they're trying to teach you to hit the ball, they say like keep your eye on the ball, like you're gonna hit that.
Right.
So it's like the same thing. So if you're looking down, like you're gonna go down. Like you don't if you don't want to go down, like don't look down. It was like it kind of happened like that. But also there's like a second reason why I call it. I guess it's like technically three, but the second reason is like Law 34, like the 48 Laws of Power. Is like be royal in your own fashion. And so it kind of like what they go on to say, like basically if you walk around and you act like you have a crown on your head, like you're gonna act differently. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna carry yourself in a different way. And that's I feel like, you know, to match the energy of like what you want, like that's what you have to do. So it was like just I was becoming like more the person that I wanted to be. And so I feel like a lot of the music kind of reflects that.
Okay. Dope,
Yeah.
dope. I had to take like mental notes. I'm like, okay. Change your mindset.
Yeah.
Got it. Awesome. So longer than an EP, not quite an album. So would you say this is definitely going to transition you into creating an EP or an album in the future?
Definitely an EP. I've really been on the EP wave because I feel like it's a good length. You know what I mean? Like 4, 5. I mean, this one has 7 songs, and it didn't like originally start like that. But I feel like to ask somebody that doesn't really know like you of your music or whatever to like listen to a full length project is kind of a lot. Like most people would just like they'll look at like 12 songs and be like, nah.
Overwhelmed,
like, nah. Yeah, but if you kind of keep it short, then you know you'll get more listeners, more people that you know otherwise wouldn't tune in. But yeah, there's definitely going to be more EPs coming for sure.
Okay, perfect. Well, like I said in the intro, I already told you and Shannon, I love it. I love the project. So
Appreciate it.
Feel Alive and Lisa Leslie, my top 2. Those are definitely my top 2. Can you get into those two? What were the inspiration behind those 2 songs? I kind of want to know more about those.
So, man, we can get into Feel Alive. I feel like Feel Alive was at a weird time. So like I had already dropped like Everything Happens for a Reason. Like I said, that was like the end of February. So then, you know, I'm making all these songs or whatever, and we kind of get into like a shutdown, and everything changed. You know what I mean? Like we're just to where I was gonna be like out and about. I like had a show coming up and like all these things that were gonna happen, and then all of a sudden it's like nope, like you're in the crib. You know what I mean? Like you can't go nowhere. You can't go meet new people. You just on lockdown. So it just made you like, well, me, I'm like pretty like an introspective person, and I be to like myself most of the time, but I was just kind of looking for shit that like made me feel good again. You know what I mean? Because you're not really getting that. A lot of times it would just be like weed, or I'd be drinking And then I start to feel better. And like, that's like, at the end of the day, like not very healthy. You know what I mean? So it was just like a lot of things. I was just kind of looking at myself in different ways and like trying to continue to grow while you're just in the house. It was like a just really, really weird time. So I was just looking for things to like make me feel alive, you know, and I just kind of I started to realize like what's important to me, you know what I mean? Because you spend all that time like just thinking. And so I was just like, just kind of starting to think about like, and realize like what's important to me, you know what I'm saying? Or just what even will make me feel good. If I have nothing but this room, like how could I, you know, feel alive? And so like it's kind of where that song came from. I remember when I made that hook, I was going crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was a great first song.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing that makes a project, an EP, an album. You got to have that first song to get somebody hooked. And when I heard that, and then when the hook of the song came around, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, literally, that was literally me listening to the album. Like, okay, Patrick, okay, you going off. So I really like that. And then the beat for Lisa Leslie. Boy, shoot, that's my workout song. Hands down. And you know, shoot, I'm a washed up basketball player, you know, bitch squad though. So the fact that you named it Lisa Leslie, I was like, that's my girl. That's my girl.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to get out the box, kind of like with the way I was like naming those songs. But yeah, that one just kind of like rolled off the tongue. It just worked. Yeah. So but that beat, like, I guess I didn't even realize like how hard it was until like I played it in the car and the whole car shaking. I was like, yeah, I was like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, I might have did something there.
Yeah, I definitely got to have my beats on when I listen to that, so I get that full experience with the bass. So, what's your favorite song? I Don't Look Down.
Ooh, my favorite song, man. Honestly, it continues to change. Like, at first it was Feel Alive. And then it was like Lisa Leslie, like this is crazy. Currently I have to say it's probably 100 million. Like I really like the song. Like so as far as like instrumentation, like there's a lot of snare in that. I really like that. I just like the way it rides, and I like the way like the flows that I picked on there. And then the hook is just super simple. I just been riding like, especially this. When you kind of like came to me like that we're gonna do this, I like definitely revisited the project, and I've been riding to that song for sure.
Nice. Awesome. So tell us a little bit more about the creative process. So do you write your own music and produce? So do you do everything?
Nah, so I don't produce. I'll essentially like find beats for the most part on YouTube. And then I just go about like, you know, getting a license and doing all that. So then they'll either have it like set up online or whatever. You just like go and try to find that person that made it. But yeah, no, I write all my own music. I write everything. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I like asking that question. So I'm a music nerd. I actually interned for Vocalo, which is alternative R&B station in Chicago. And just listening to all the musicians and artists that, you know, our Vocalo show hosts interview, I love hearing them unpack their creative process and how they make their music. Some have multiple producers. Some people do have designated writers. So I just like to see like how different musicians go about their creative process. What's the hardest thing about creating a project?
Man, I would probably say like it's not really making the music. It's like, you know, the music kind of comes, especially like if you're in here, you really do this, like the music's gonna come. I feel like it's kind of hard to, like, once you have all these songs, it's kind of, at least for me, I want to make sure it flows. You know what I'm saying? So like from top to bottom, you want to make sure like, okay, you get the intro, like you were saying on Feel Alive, you get that. And then you make sure that it just continues to flow. Like every song kind of hits, and you hit different emotions and things like that. So I feel like that's kind of the hardest part, is like once you have the music, is then being like, okay, this is gonna go here, this goes here, like this works, this doesn't. Like some songs you have to scrap, and some songs like you didn't really expect it to be there, but here it is, and it works perfect.
So basically, you're pretty much storyboarding the entire process.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, that's similar to making film or videos. You know, in that industry, you got to plan out what the story is going to be from the front to the end, and then in the middle of the climax. So I definitely get that with the projects and EP. So with current events going on, so the pandemic, police brutality, protests, any other world events, did anything prolong the release of this project?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when everything, well, I guess they're calling it civil unrest, right? But
yeah,
with the murder of George Floyd and just the Breonna Taylor, like with all that happening, I just like reality shifted again. Like everything was different again, and all of a sudden I'm like, you know, at these protests, and like essentially like it felt like fighting for my life. It was crazy. And so all of that, it was just like, man, it's not the right time to drop anything. Like it just didn't feel right. Like all of that, it was just, no, this is not correct. So I was at a lot of protests, and I was just like out and like on the scene and just, you know, feeling that energy that, yeah. So, but it was a lot, yo. And yeah, so it definitely pushed things back. I was just like, man, I can't do this. I have to like deal with this as like real life shit, and it just needs to get handled. Yeah.
Right. I do admire that you did take a step back to be selfless and, you know, be at the protests, and being activists, with your social media. Talk about, so you, I believe what's the name of the organization that you do grocery drives with? You want to talk about that a little
bit? Yeah. So that is Delacreme Scholars. So that's through a rapper in Chicago. His name's Spamdot. He has this like really dope organization. I mean, we just ended it. But essentially what you do is, you know, there's Saturdays and Sundays, and you go there, and the groceries are paid for. You essentially just go there, you grab everything that they need. There's like the list. So you just grab that list, get everything that they need, and then you deliver it straight to them. But those are going to the South and the West Side. And so like that was crazy. Like that was just where I felt like I really fit into this movement. Like going to protests, like that will do like only like so much for you, or at least for me. But just to be able to like get food to these parts of the city that don't really, they struggle to get that. Like that was powerful, you know, and to see like the look on these people's faces when you know, have a car full of groceries for them, like it's unmatched. So yeah, all the things that really like one of those people that I can get behind and just want to work with. But yeah, that's Delacreme Scholars. What he, the thing he's running. Very dope.
Good shit. I started listening to him recently. Vocalo, we actually just dropped a feature article on him. We just interviewed him a couple weeks ago, and we featured him in our newsletter and on the radio station. So small world on that. So shout out to Femdot for sure. Yeah. I haven't met him personally. But I mean, just because I work for Vocalo, I'd be like, yeah, we did that on him. So
no, for sure, that's dope.
So what's your biggest takeaway of this project? And what do you want listeners to take away from this project? What do you want them to feel or to think about when they listen to Don't Look Down?
You know what? So when I was making the project, I was kind of like I said, like very introspective. It's like you had no choice. You know what I'm saying? You're alone. And so you have to kind of like figure yourself out. And so I feel like there was a lot of times I was looking in the mirror trying to, you know, like become the person that I wanted to be. You know, I've always had potential, but like, what are you going to do with that potential? You know what I mean? So I've seen this picture. It's like a statue essentially, but it's like the bottom is like kind of like fat, and the top is like ripped. There's this dude with a chisel and a hammer, and he's like
Mm-hmm.
chiseling at like the fat and like just creating, you know, the body that he actually wants. And like that's kind of what I was doing, and that's like the feeling I feel like I captured, and like that's what I want people to take away when they listen to it, is just like to be okay with being like a work in progress, like even in public, like it's okay to be like, nobody's perfect. So
Right.
just to kind of just take that upon yourself to, you know, be really self-aware, and, you know, it's totally fine to like chisel away at the parts that you don't want to create what you really do.
That's awesome. That's deep. That's deep as hell. Okay, Pat, I see you. So we're going to close out. You know, every artist, especially rapper, gets this question because I like to hear everybody's top 5. So,
Ooh.
Yup. Putting you on the spot, my guy.
Ooh.
Top 5. Who are they?
Top 5. Oh. Of all time we talking about, or we just talking about just right now?
Your top 5. It can be recent, all time. It can be a mixture of both.
All right. So I got to put Mick Jenkins in there. I got to put...
My man.
Yo, I mean, he's crazy with the pen. He just he's crazy. I'm going to go Isaiah Rashad.
Okay.
Listen to a lot of Isaiah Rashad. We're going to go J. Cole. We're going to go, man, off of influence and everything, I got to put Tupac in there.
Okay. Yep.
And, did I say Boss?
No, you didn't.
I think I did. I really love the way that Boss flows, the way that he, just everything. Like, that's another thing that just really influenced me when I was like about to start making music, is like the way that he be flowing. I think that it's just perfect. It's so smooth. So yeah, that'd have to be my top 5 right there.
Okay.
I probably missed so many.
I feel like that's a very alternative top 5, because normally when I hear people talk about the top 5, it's Biggie, Tupac, Kendrick, Cole. So when you started out with me,
there, but I'm just saying, for me, the people that I have in like daily rotation, that's them right there. And I miss Smino for sure, because
yes,
the wordplay to everything.
Yup.
Yeah.
Smino, Nick Jenkins, my rotation, Saba. So pretty much all the Chicago. And I'm so mad I couldn't go to that concert with y'all because I had that damn asthma attack. I was so mad. I was literally on my way. And I was like, dang, Sharon, I got an asthma attack. I can't make it. I was so mad. I was
it was crazy too.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, you missed a good one.
I know. And then freaking.
And yeah, exactly. Like, when's the next one?
Yep.
We're gonna have to wait. Just gonna have to wait and see.
Shoot, Saba, he cooking up something. He posted on his IG a couple days ago. So I'm like, oh snap, that album about to hit hard.
Oh yeah, that's about to be next level. I can't wait.
Awesome. Well, Patrick, nothing but love to you and success to you.
Right back at you.
So other than that, thank you so much for being on the show. I'm looking forward to hearing your next projects and releases, and I'm probably gonna listen to the album while I do some work after the show. So you already know.
That's a bet.
Yeah. All right, I'll talk to you later, big homie. See ya.
All right, bet.
All right. So that was Patrick Sharp, up and coming musician, artist, rapper out in Chicago. How we know each other, we went to high school. Like I said in the intro, it's super interesting to see people, you know, from their hometowns, leave their hometowns and finally tap into their creative sides and make their hobbies and passions a reality. So definitely check out Don't Look Down. You can you can listen to it on Spotify, or if you're lame, on Apple Music too, I guess, whatever. I think Spotify is the best platform. So you can definitely listen to the project on those 2 platforms. My favorite songs, Feel Alive and Lisa Leslie. make sure you have those songs on repeat. Trust me. Other than that, I'm Brianna Cherie. I'm about to sign off. Season 2 is coming to an end. We have our last episode next week, and then our last video segment in 2 weeks. So catch up on the season on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. The links to all those sites, platforms are in the bio. I'm about to go take a nap, do some work, and watch this Laker game. All right, y'all. Peace out.